What's going on, folks? So in this video, I'm going to give you my 4 simple tips to improve your grip strength for MMA. Let's get right into it. So the first thing is to improve your base, to create a strong base. And the base is your leg strength and stability. If you don't have a good foundation of leg strength and stability, it's going to make it even harder for your upper body to maintain a grip on your opponent. So that may show up as your grip fatiguing and you believing that you need to improve your grip, when in reality, you need to improve your base. So if all you're doing is just compound leg exercises like squat variations, and you're not doing or emphasizing single leg exercises, then you're missing a huge amount of stability component that plays a major role in your grip strength. Great exercises are trap bar deadlift, stagger stance trap bar deadlift, right? That puts you in that off stance position. I also like barbell RDLs. You can do staggered stance barbell RDLs as well. So that's just 2 variations. And then of course, all your other single leg stability exercises, such as single leg dumbbell RDLs, reverse lunges, rear footed elevated split squats. All these exercises are great to improve your single leg strength and stability. The second thing is improving your scapular strength and endurance. So your scapula, your shoulder blades, your upper back area. So improving that is your base foundation of your grip. If you don't have a strong and stable scapula, then it's going to make it even 10 times more challenging in order for you to have a strong grip down the chain. And those other muscles down the chain will fatigue out a lot faster because they're having to work a lot harder to make up for the instability that is up the chain. It is simple as doing your compound pulling exercises. And then you could also add in the accessory exercises as well. But you start with your foundation. You can do barbell rows. I like landmine rows because they're more joint friendly than the barbell row is. But single arm rows are one of my favorites as well. So single arm dumbbell rows, 3-point dumbbell rows, kettlebell rows. You can do a ton of different row variations, but you really want to focus on slow and controlled movement, good contraction at the back end of that motion, and not just kind of yanking and going through the movement and using a lot of body instead of really good scapular control. So that is another key there. Make sure you add those in, or you really focus in or use those as your main pulling exercises. Then the other thing you can add in is accessory scapular strength exercises. So bent over dumbbell lateral raises, band pull aparts. These are great exercises to build that endurance and really isolate the scapula and upper back muscles more than it would if you were just doing your row exercises. But the rows are the foundation, and then the other ones just reinforce that endurance. So the next one is core strength. So if you don't have good core strength and stability, I like to say more dynamic core stability, then it's going to be even more challenging for you to maintain a grip on your opponent, right? When you're in a grappling exchange, you have to maintain good core position to reduce the movement of your opponent. If you never practice that, then it's going to be 10 times harder for you to maintain that. Your core will wear out, and then that will make you use your upper body, your grip, a little bit more than it would if you had really good, strong core stability. So the key here is to really do some isolated core movements. What I really like incorporating into my fighters programs are plank variations, but mainly weighted plank variations, and we make them dynamic by doing weighted plank with reaches. Also, pull-off presses are a great anti-rotation exercise, but even the plank with reaches is an anti-extension, anti-rotation exercise. So just think about resistant rotation and then also resistant extension. So if you really reinforce that and strengthen those movements, then that's going to play a major part in improving your grip strength and endurance. Also, if you're doing a lot of single leg and single arm exercises, you are getting a good amount of core stimulation along with the bracing that you do with compound exercises. But single arm, single leg exercises really emphasize a good amount of anti-core rotation or anti-lateral flexion if you're doing them appropriately. So you may not need to add in as much accessory core movements if you're already performing those exercises. And then the last one is hip strength. We already went over the foundation with the leg strength exercises. Hip strength is one of the primary focuses here because that is where you generate power and extension through. So shooting in for a takedown or lifting up your opponent to finish that takedown. All of these things play a huge factor, or holding your opponent down or keeping your opponent down. If you have really good strength in your hips, then that is your foundation. If we want to say you're only training 2 days a week with resistance training, your primary leg exercises may emphasize hip extension. So you may do barbell RDLs for one day as your primary strength exercise for your lower body. And then on the next day, you may do hip thrusts. But we're still keeping touches on knee flexion dominant movements such as rear footed elevated split squats or reverse lunges. So that way we're not detraining or regressing in our strength in that area as well. But we are making sure that we're building up our hip strength. Let's just say that may be our focus for the time being and it's lacking. So we want to do that to improve that area. So again, hip strength is very important for generating power, holding the opponent down, and being really strong and having a base foundation through grappling exchanges.